Hey everyone, so it has ended in South Korea. Tottenham won, Newcastle won. Another pre-season game finished, another pre-season game undefeated, albeit a draw. But a draw against a decent team. I do believe that Newcastle are a good team with some decent players in there. I thought that Kieran Trippier had a really good game. Harvey Barnes and Anthony Gordon looked really strong. Um, did really well. Barnes scored a really well taken goal. But I think overall our players good run out, good work rate. Nobody covered themselves in glory, to be fair, but then nobody really let themselves down. Tell will make some headlines for his one-on-one that he had with the keeper. Thought the keeper did really well to hold off and made a really good save. I think Tell probably had too much time to think about it. I think he didn't think he expected to get the breakaway that he did and to have all that time on the ball. And once you're doing that in a staring competition with the keeper, and the keeper made the right decision, got his leg out and stopped him from putting the ball away, because that would have been a really good goal. A lot of real good midfield work from him. I felt that he was strong in the tackle, was tricky and everything else. Works really hard. Same with Gray, young lad. I know people have been writing him off. I don't know why, but they've been writing him off. But he looked comfortable in midfield. You wouldn't think he was just an 18-year-old kid. Worked extremely hard. Won a fair few turnovers and duels with the Newcastle players. Thought he did a good account of himself, to be fair. What else? Obviously, Brennan Johnson scoring. Great to see that, because that continues from last season. Right place, right time. Not a tap in this time. Did take a deflection, to be fair. But if you got to hit it, go towards the goal. If it hits someone on the way in, that's not your fault, right? So good to see him get on the score sheet and continue that run as well. I'm still not 100% on Kinski. I thought he looked really good when he came in. But he still looks a little bit shaky to me. Not as accomplished maybe as Vicario is. But I still think he's a decent player. I don't want to see him go out on loan or anything like that. I would like to see him develop with Spurs. I think he's got a lot of potential. He's confident with his feet, good kicking and all that kind of stuff. A good shot stopper. But I just feel he can be a little bit nervy, and that kind of worries me a little bit. But overall, a game of two teams, really, two halves. We kind of mixed and matched and had players in and players out and so on. The big difficult one, and I haven't seen anything said about it as yet, is Maddison. Looks like he's picked up a nasty injury. No one around him. Didn't seem to do anything. Didn't look like an impact injury or anything. So it'd be really interesting to see how that pans out, because that is a real blow if he's injured big time. It looked painful. He looked in a lot of pain. Had to be carried off on a stretcher. The players looked a little bit concerned as well, which kind of gives you a feeling that it was not a good one. But of course, with Kulu out, Maddison potentially out now, that does leave us really short on a playmaker, someone who can unlock the defences and so on. So I don't know. This injury curse just does not seem to be disappearing, does it? And that's a real annoying scenario to face, especially when you're not getting players through the door as yet. But hopefully, now this game's out of the way, and Spurs are heading back to England, we may start to see some business actually getting confirmed. I think Son will probably get confirmed now, because let's be honest, this game was more about Son than anybody. Really wanted him to throw off the shackles of worries about not knowing what his future's going to be, to actually be in a situation where you thought he could kind of just run free and really get going with it. Wasn't to be. I'm not going to say it was a classic Son performance. It was probably an underwhelming performance from Sonny. But listen, he's moving on. We know now. The reaction from the fans was amazing. The reaction from the from the players as he left. Both sets of players, the Newcastle players as well. The reception from around the stadium and so on. Very emotional, Sonny. To be fair, he was in tears a little bit. It's a big step, moving on from something is a real difficult one. Yeah, so good to see the adulation from all the fans and everything else. It's his swan song. It's his last appearance for Tottenham. So I'm expecting his move to be spoken about probably tomorrow or over the next coming days as they get back to England. And then I suspect that the Paulinho one may not get shouted out until after the game against Bayern, or maybe just before. Maybe it gets announced just before, and he gets to kind of come out and say goodbye to his Bundesliga fans and so on. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how that kind of pans out, what they decide to do from that point of view, because it does feel like a good opportunity to kind of come out and say goodbye at the same time as then saying hello to Tottenham fans. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that pans out. But yeah, interesting. But yeah, great to see, Sonny bow out in his own country, get some adulation from all the fans and all the players and everything else for him to kind of move on. And hopefully it gets sorted out soon and we know where he goes from here. I think we kind of guessing it's LA, but till it's confirmed, you just never know, do you? So anyway, from that point of view, decent game, decent run out, good competition against a decent team in Newcastle. Big downside is obviously the injury to Maddison. Fingers crossed it's just some kind of twinge or something. But it didn't look very good at all. So I'm a bit worried about that. But yeah, I'm glad that's kind of those long distance ones are over. Back to Munich next to play Bayern. See what that kind of gives us. But let's concentrate on getting some players through the door now, please, Daniel. We really need to bolster this squad and start moving things on. I know there's still time. And we have got a decent amount of players. Some decent players in there. Kudos looked really good again today. But like you keep saying, 4 competitions, you've got to be competitive in all of them. Need the players to do that, mate. Come on, get it sorted. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Up the Spurs.